ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। Yeah, from 10, let's chant. यातयामं गतरसं
यातयामं गतरसं
पूतिपर्युषितं च यत्
पूतिपर्युषितं च यत्
उच्छिष्टमपि चामेध्यम्
उच्छिष्टम् अपि च मेध्यम्
भोजनं तामसप्रियम्
भोजनं तामसप्रियम्
अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्यज्ञः
अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्यज्ञः
विधिदृष्टो य इज्यते
विधिदृष्टो य इज्यते
यष्टव्यमेवेति मनः
यष्टव्यमे वेति मनः
समाधाय स सात्विकः
समाधाय सात्विकः
अभिसन्धाय तु फलम्
अभिसन्धाय तु फलम्
दम्भार्थमपि चैव यत्
दम्भार्थमपि चैव यत्
इज्यते भरतश्रेष्ठ
इज्यते भरतश्रेष्ठ
तञ्यज्ञं विद्धि राजसम्
तज्ञं विद्धि राजसम्
विधिहीनमसृष्टान्नम्
विधिहीनम् असृष्टान्नम्
मन्त्रहीनमदक्षिणम्
मन्त्रहीनम् अदक्षिणम्
श्रद्धाविरहितं यज्ञम्
श्रद्धाविरहितं यज्ञम्
तामसं परिचक्षते
तामसं परिचक्षते
देवद्विजगुरुप्राज्ञ
देवद्विजगुरुप्राज्ञा
पूजनं शौचमार्जवम्
पूजनं शौचमार्जवम्
once again देवद्विजगुरुप्राज्ञ Janam Shauchamarjavam
देवद्विजगुरु प्राज्ञम् पूजनं शौचमार्जवम्
Brahmacharyamahimsa cha
ब्रह्मचर्यमहिंसा च
Shariram tapa uchyate.
शारीरं तप उज्यते.
So we need to resume from this shloka number 14. So Sri Krishna has been explaining various ways of looking at the typical activities, important activities that we do. He started with Shraddha. Shraddha is divided into Satvikam, Rajasam, Tamasam, etc. He said. Then he continued to talk about three. He said he's going to talk about four more. So that is in shloka number 7. Ahara. So he talked from 8, 9, and 10. He talked about three types of ahara. So it gives us an indication already. This is a shastra coming right from Krishna. And so for us, this is a guide for life. And we can't be ignorant of something like this because it's a shastric injunction, you want to say it. Yeah, he doesn't say you have sattvic food. Krishna doesn't say that. He says this is how it is. Foods are like this. So we have to make a choice. Choice is up to us. Like Krishna gives the choice to Arjuna. Later on in the 18th chapter, we will see. After all this is said and done, do what you like. So he says that later on. We'll see that. So then he talks about this yajna, Trividaha yajna, 11, 12, and 13. We saw that. Three types of yajna. Because yajna also is a part and parcel of a Vedic life. And all tribal religions, wherever they are in the world, for them yajna is important. They will have, you will carefully watch, they are celebrating life, they are celebrating the bounty, they are celebrating nature, they have their own gods, and then they worship gods. And so that's there everywhere. So Trividaha Yajnaha, and then now he is going to talk about uh, Tapa,
Tapas.
tapas. We're going to talk about tapas. And tapas is different from yajna, obviously. At least in this case, Krishna is differentiating yajna and tapas. Tapas is meant for a particular purpose. Tapas is self-discipline. A person in the family, everybody need not do tapas. One person may be doing some tapas for some things. But yajna means the entire family is involved. And puja means the entire family is involved. In general. In general. And at least in the last, when the Harati is done, all family will be involved, right? One person is doing puja, and then money, getting, then everybody will come. At least during that time, everybody is together. So, but tapas is not like that. Tapas is individual. And so, we were saying last time that here this tapas refers to general disciplines, things that we are all used to doing, and we consider them to be important for our own self development and eventually for our own spiritual growth and Parama Purushartha Prapti, Moksha Prapti. And so, Shama, Dama, all the things that Shastra talks about as preparations, Vairagyam, Viveka, all these things are all one. If we have to develop, then we have to, it's called tapas. Okay. All right. So any sadhanam is tapas here. Anything which will help us towards in this journey is called tapas. It may also mean, I'm going to cut down the use of my car and walk more. Okay, that's tapas. If you say consciously, you say, I'm going to do that because this is, it's my bhuta yajna. It's my contribution to the ecology. And if you say that, and wherever you can walk, you just walk, just an extra kilometer or whatever, then that's great. That's also becomes a tapas. You do it consistently. All right. So this 14, 15, and 16, he's going to divide this tapas in terms of how you do the tapas, the methodology of doing the tapas. Namely, does it involve my entire body? Okay. It's called kayikam. Or it is only a vak tapas, means it involves only the speech, organ of speech primarily, or or it is a manasam tapaha. That is how it's going to divide. And we started looking at this shloka number 14. Deva Dvija Guru Pragya Pujanam. So here he is listing several things, which is what he calls Shariram Tapa Uchyate. Shariram Tapaha means it involves the entire body. Shariram Tapa, a discipline which involves the entire body, is the first category of tapas. So physical, there is some physical aspect, significant physical aspect. That is the meaning of this one. So pujanam. So puja, we all understand what puja is, and so that puja is such an important part of every Vedic family. It ought to be, and it starts from childhood onwards. We learn from our parents or our caregivers, and then we develop it in our own life in different forms. It grows into different forms. And initially, puja, light the lamp, and then do a formal puja, and then slowly, then becomes more parayanam will be there, more and more, spending more time on parayanam, and then slowly dhyanam and all. Dhyanam is incorporated in the puja. Dhyanam can be done different from the puja time. And slowly, puja is the time spent with the Sharinam puja is reduced and Manasam puja is done. So you see the gradation. Gradation. Well, we'll come to that gradation a bit later. So that's puja. And sometimes we go to the Swami and then we ask them to do a puja diksha. Puja diksha, not japa diksha. Puja diksha means you please teach me how to do puja. You initiate me into puja. Or Swamijis themselves will initiate groups of people in doing puja. So that's the initiation. Then that becomes a starting point for us to take that particular puja, Shariram puja, seriously and do it every day. Puja Diksha. And that includes going to temple and then spending some time with our Ishta Devata, with the Devatas that we know of very well. And then you connect with, it's a time to connect with Bhagavan, with the Bhagavan. That's the only relationship which is permanent. Permanent relationship means Bhagavan, relationship with Bhagavan, which we need to keep strengthening throughout our life. All right. So this pujanam, Swami says the first benefit of puja is the best antidote for laziness. Best antidote for laziness. And so you have to sit, you have to prepare, you have to allocate some time, and there's a procedure to follow. You have to bring naivedyam, all these things have to be done. And so you have to, even if it is only 10 minutes, you have to light the lamp, etc. Okay, all day I've been watching TV, now I have to do this. So it's an excellent way to break the monotonous routine and which otherwise we get sucked into. And so best antidote to laziness. आलस्यं हि मनुष्याणां शरीरस्थो महान् रिपुः. आलस्यं हि शरीरस्थो Manushyanam Mahan Ripu. Hey, the greatest enemy of a human being is laziness. There is one statement there. Shubhashitam is there. And so, laziness. So, at minimum, we have to do something. And so, puja is one thing that if we're used to, then automatically the mind will say, come on, go do. This is now 6 o'clock p.m. This is not the time to watch TV. Our parents used to say all these things. 6 o'clock, time up. Some six, my mind at least, six is stuck because you stop playing. You can't be playing in this time, and all they will say. And mama, please, 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes, just last over. Cricket, something we used to negotiate with mother and father. And so that's the thing here. And and then there's another shloka. Udyamam sahasam viryam buddhi shakti parakramaha shadete yatra vartante tatra devaha sahayakrit. That's another beautiful shloka which talks about devaha sahayakrit. Who are the people whom God will help? We're all asking for God's help. But then the God also makes a choice, it seems. He also has some partiality. And what is this partiality? The people who have these qualities, only God will help. Udyamam. Those who put in proper amount of effort means the lazy people, God says, no, this guy is lazy. He doesn't really want me. So he walks away. And so Udyamam, effort, one who puts the right amount of effort. Sahasam, Viryam, Buddhi, Shakti, etc. Parakrama. One who uses the Buddhi and one who isn't easily discouraged by things and who knows, okay, ups and downs are going to be there and who's practical, who says, no, we have to keep trying. So one who perseveres, only that person, Devaha Sahaya Krit, it seems. So that shloka starts with Udyamam, effort. And so Pujanam is one type of Udyamam. And so these days we need all that. These days we need all that. Sometimes I tell these kids that you have to some puja chanting shlokas you have to chant because you guys are doing all kinds of stuff. You're busy, no doubt, but there'll come a time when you will have to sit. You will feel like you're lost, and you have to at least do from a while in. You must get some shlokas from your mouth. And that time, if you're struggling around for what to say and when to say, how to do it, everything, it's a tough to learn at that time when I'm 40 or 45, etc. So you better learn something every day. Do something, even though if it's mechanical, just do it. And it seems Swamiji quotes one magazine, Reader's Digest. It seems modern times, right? Everybody is sitting and gaining weight and eating all kinds of foods. And it seems the Reader's Digest says you should hide your remote, the TV remote, so that at least to turn on the TV, you will get up from your couch and go. And then what about volume? How do I change channels? You mean you want me to go to the TV and change channel? Get up every time I want to change a channel? Is that what you're advising me? Yeah, it's very shocking. I know that. So that's how life has become. On top of that, we say it's all rituals, it's all ritualistic. No, we talked about it last time. Pradakshina Namaskaram is there. And I remember, I recall something. Some years ago, some 15 years ago, when I was there in the US, there was some news about this professor who did some research on this. We do this Topukarana in front of Ganesha. We're supposed to stand like this and then do this baitak, sit and stand up, sit and stand up 5 times or something we used to do. I had done some research and said this cures some all kinds of brain diseases and all. I forgot that there was a lot of brouhaha at that time and research paper and this and that, and Indians were all up in arms. Oh, we do it for time immemorial. We've been doing it and all that. We have been doing it. Yeah, correct. That's a correct statement. Today we don't do it. So let him get the patent and let him get the prize and credit. But it's all I, It's all very uncanny. It all comes back to us somehow or the other. So, therefore, that's one benefit. What is the one benefit of pujanam? It's a good antidote for laziness. And our yajnas are all not puja and all. It is you have to have a good lower back and all that. Otherwise, it's hard to do puja. And ask the people who are doing all these homas and all that. It's difficult. You have to say, you need some people who can't sit down. You have to sit on a chair, and then some people can't bend. So all these things are there. So if you keep doing, that's why another reason to do puja. You have to bend. You have to pull all these things. Do puja without getting help from anybody. Okay, that's another thing. I'm putting a clause because you have all these, your children are there, daughters, your grandchildren. Come on, go get that. Go get the fruit from the refrigerator. Go get this. Everything other people are doing seva for you. You know, hey, you are supposed to do seva for Ishvara. So that's one benefit. Swamiji says this is number one. Second, and the most important, of course, is reviving and strengthening our relationship with Ishvara. Ishvara is what is Sarvam Khalu Idam. Everything that is here is Ishvara. And it's a fact. If it's a fact, I cannot miss that fact. So I better start building my relationship with Bhagavan. Even the relationship is Dvaita only. It is a Dvaita relationship. That's perfect. That's how we start. We have to start life like that. And so that is the only relationship which is universal, which is Janma Janmani. So all lifelong, it comes along with this. And whereas other relationships are all impermanent, they they snap. Either suddenly snaps off, or due to other reasons they weaken and go away. Therefore, we uh, we have to be careful about depending too much on human relationships. Depending too much, we use through human relationships to help ourselves grow up emotionally. But once we grow up, we have to just stand on our legs and then focus on Ishvara. Change the focus completely. And so it is the physical activity, pujanam, that invokes that relationship. Exactly like when you give a birthday, you give a gift to somebody in their hand, you give a book. Then that could be a small booklet, but that tells us, that strengthens that relationship between the two people. And you give some toffees to a small girl or boy, then suddenly that relationship is comes to the fore, and that joy in the child's face and the joy in your face, everything just comes out. So there is that physical aspect, so important. Initially, it's very important. So that Ishvara Bandha is there, Loka Bandha is there. We are all, Loka Bandha is constant, but Ishvara Bandha has to be increased in our life. Swamiji says, you know, see, those days, they used to be highly yajna oriented. And if you ask them their birthday, they won't know what their birthday is. I was born in this month, in that particular tithi, and all they will say. Maximum. Some people won't even know all these things. Birthday is not an important thing for them. Means celebration of birthday is not an important thing. And birthdays will come and go. All this wishing birthdays and all never there. Maybe maximum go to the temple and do that kind. But because they had they for them this Bhagavan is a big thing in their life. But as this reduces, Bhagavan reduces. All these human relationships become very important. Correct? Sundari, go ahead and mute yourself. So the human relationships become very important. Birthday parties become very important. And every birthday, people are looking forward to it and are planning for it. Surprise party. I'm not saying don't do it. Please, I want you to understand the psychology. This is psychology. Then this becomes very important. Yeah, at least when I grow older, I reduce the importance of all these birthdays and all that. And when somebody's birthday is there, you invite them home. I'm going to do a puja for you. Let's do a Ganesh. What's your Ishta Devata? Ganesha? Okay, let's do. Today I'm going to do, and we're all together going to do Ganesh Puja. That's your birthday party. That's my party. I'm throwing a party for you. How about that? I think that's a great, memorable thing that guy will remember for the rest of his life. And I got a party. This is the best party I got. Okay, let's try something different. So, uh, this rituals are meaningless and all that. We have to just say it differently, think about the whole thing very differently, knowing what we know, and people are looking. The West is looking for rituals because they've just banned, they've branded rituals, they've branded all these things. They've said it is pagan and this is all old and this and that. What pagan? Psychologists are asking for doing something ritual. Get up in the morning, 6 o'clock, go for a walk means what? Why should you go for a walk at 6 at a specific time? Don't arbitrarily walk. Because then he says, if you make it a habit, then when the clock strikes in the morning 6, automatically the mind says, I have to go for a walk. So at that time, your will is not needed. Automatically, that push, momentum is there. Without your knowledge, you'll go for a walk. Ritual. Ritual does that. And so, and I told you, I must have told you this before. And I was reading these books by John Bradshaw. Homecoming is a book where he talks about, this how the past traumas and things like that, which haunt a human being. How to utilize that. Yeah, he very beautifully he explained. And he talks about rituals. He says, you think about the past trauma, some event that you really want to forget. Okay. And the mind is just forgetting it, forget it. That's bad. That's bad. So he says, cautiously bring that to your experience, to your consciousness. Okay. And while doing that, he says, touch the two fingers. What is the connection between touching these two fingers and this exercise? Connection is very important because next time you sit like this, next time you sit like this, next time you sit like this, then automatically the last time you sit, you automatically put the two fingers. That in experience will come, and then you will be more comfortable with that experience. You embrace that experience, past experience, traumatic experience. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Traumas happen, and it happened to me also. Why should I run away from it? Why should I run away from it? It's part of my life. It's me. And there is a reason why I got it. Why should I run away from it? I've now embraced it completely. It's part of me and it's resolved. No longer it haunts me. I'm happy. Nothing haunts me. He's talking like this. And my goodness, when we do Gayatri Japa, we hold our fingers like this. There is a particular, in this thread that we have, there is a knot. Mudichirukku. It's called Pavitra Mudichu. It's called sacred knot. We are supposed to hold that sacred knot every day and then while chanting the Gayatri Mantra. This is just too uncanny. That means what? That thing, that act of doing like this automatically calms my mind down. Correct? The minute I do like this, suddenly something happens in the body and subconsciously it calms my mind down and say, now is the time to do japa. Look at this psychology. Anyway, we have to really look into all these things, and I'm so happy that at least we're learning from some Western people too sometimes, and that's good. It doesn't matter who we learn from, but we have to learn and adopt it. And so, when we study Brahma Sutram, I showed this book the other day during Shakra Jayanti. So this is a book of Brahma Sutram. It's a thick book, but the text is Vyasa's Brahma Sutram. Okay, Vyasa has written 555 sutras, of which only 4 sutras are described in this thick book of 450 pages. Okay. Now, before the study of Brahma Sutram in the ashram, we have an elaborate ritual. Elaborate ritual which starts from the temple, Dakshinamurti temple. And then what we do is we carry this book on the head, all the students. Brahma Sutram book is carried on the head. We walk from the temple all the way to the This one, the hall, the lecture room, and then there is Dakshinamurti is there, Swamiji is there, everything. We we put the books down there, and then we finish the puja there, and then we start the text, uh, reading the text, because this text is so important. Every text is important, and but Brahma Sutram being the culmination of the study of the Shastram in the ashram, and even when we study, and it's going to conclude. And this Brahma Sutram requires a mind that requires full concentration. So prayer, that we could come this far. We studied Bhagavad Gita, we studied Prakarana Granthas, we studied Bhajagovindam, we studied Nirvana Ashtakam, we studied so many other texts, Dakshinamurti Stotram, and Upanishads also completed. Now Brahma Sutra. We study Brahma Sutra means that's the value that our ancestors gave, and then ritual. And Swamiji said some ashrams, every Brahma Sutram class they do this puja to that paper, that page, that particular. Today we have to resume from page number 126. That 126th page they keep it open and do a small puja. That's how it is. That's how it is. Because it's sacred. It's sacred. And we're talking about very fundamental truths here. So rich, we have to bring back puja into our lives in a big way. A big way. So you look at, I mean, I live here in a senior citizen home. Everybody is a senior citizen. Every house are senior citizens living. And they start their day early. 4:35 they get up. And then each person is doing puja for 2 hours, 3 hours and all. It's very norm. It's the norm. Norm. And then they end up with people like me in this thing who come and say, now you have to change your thing and you can't be chanting Lalita Sahasranamam and Vishnu Sahasranamam for 3 hours. You have to slowly listen to Swamiji also and listen to the Shastram. Shravanam you have to include. Shravanam is part of the puja. Slowly reduce this time and increase the Shravanam time. They don't hear this anywhere else. They heard it from me. And so everything, that's part of the growth. That's how it is. Nothing is fixed. So it's possible. Kids can be inspired to do puja, and they do puja. We've seen it, and and so when you do homas at home, invite people with whom you have to mend relationships. Invite them also. In fact, you should invite them, and it's a time when focus is on homa, and give them something. Prasad is there, and then have lunch, have diksha, and then they will go. So it's a time to mend relationships also. Very interesting idea. Swamiji mentioned it in class. Mending relationships. Use these occasions to mend relations. Very, very interesting. So invite people home for Homa. Not homecoming, Homa coming. All right. So the question now is, Pujanam of what? Now we are coming back to the shloka here. Pujanam, that word is there. So Deva, Dvija, Guru, Prajna, Pujanam. Pujanam of the following. What are those following? Devaha. Devaha, Bhagavan, Parameshwara, Paramatma. So, Murti Puja, that's why Murti Puja is so important for us. Because God is not everywhere, God is there means what? Child won't understand all that. You have to have a Murti. You have to focus your attention on something. That something is a Murti. Murti. And so, Murti Puja, not idol worship. Murti Puja. All branding. Oh my God, the damage that West has done to the tribal religions of this universe is just, I don't know how to say it, branding them as idol worshippers and pagans and this and that. Unbelievable it is. Hey, see, your daughter is left home. She's working somewhere in some other part of the world. You have a picture on the wall. Eh, suppose somebody comes and says, why do you have your daughter's picture on the wall? You have daughters not in your heart? Suppose somebody argues like this. What kind of argument is that? Yeah, I want to see the presence of the picture is so important. Physically, I can see her. So I see the presence of my daughter. That picture reminds me of my daughter, and yeah, it makes it even more real. Yeah, that's why we need all these symbols. And so, where is the question of idol worship and all these things? No, not correct at all. So, anyway, Deva Pujanam, Dvija Pujanam, Dvija, very interesting. So, literal meaning, a person who is born a second time means a Brahmana. Brahmana means one who is studying the Vedas and one who is now more refined. Previously, Prakrita Purushaha, now Samskrita Purusha. Previously unrefined, just like a child running around and eating whatever, etc. Now Prakrita, now Samskrita Purusha, a Brahmana, a person who is initiated, suddenly that person's life will change. There are certain things he won't do, and study, of course, is there, and eating, carefully eating, everything. Puja, of course, is part of life. Parayan. So, Rija Pujana, invite boys and girls who have this thing, who are learning Parayanam, do namaskar to them. Honor these boys and girls. Yeah. So, means they're all dharmikas. They're not jnanis. Then Guru Pujanam. Here, Guru does not refer to jnani. Guru means any teacher. Teacher, one who is willing to share what the person knows. And that's they say it's the noblest profession, right? Yes, you're teaching somebody to become somebody. There is a there is a there is a big meeting of company CEOs and all that. And the one teacher came and spoke, it seems. The teacher said, this is why teachers is a noble profession, teaching. He said, look at all the people, CEO of Reliance, Ambani, and so on and so forth, the greatest doctors, greatest engineers, the greatest this and that. And who made all these people? So then the teacher gets that credit. There is some nice way of putting it. I'm not getting it now. But the teacher who wants you to be successful, only person besides parents who wants you to be successful in life is your teacher. That's it. Everybody else may have all kinds of problems with us, but the teacher will not. Teacher is constantly focused on the child, on the student. And so, Guru, any teacher, just surprise your teacher. Your high school teacher, just surprise her, just do namaskar to her. What are you doing? Teacher, it is you who made me who I am today. Just tell her that. You'll have made her day, correct? You'll have made her day. And so, Guru Pujanam, tell her this one, my Bhagavad Gita says, Krishna says, I have to do puja to my Guru. You are my Guru. Just everybody should just listen to those words. They should understand Guru. The word Guru comes from our culture only. It's all borrowed into English from Sanskrit. Prajnaha. Prajna Pujanam. Jnani Pujanam ityarthaha. That we all know. Jnani Pujanam we do. And so, then he talks about Shaucham. Shaucham. We saw that before also. Shaucham. When we talked about Amanitvam, Adanitvam, etc. in the 13th chapter. Okay, Bahya Shaucham, Antara Shaucham. External cleanliness and mental, thought-wise cleanliness. And so external cleanliness, the Indians have a long way to go when it comes to this, keeping the public places clean. We're still very poor in this. We talk a lot about Shaucham, Bhagavad Gita and all, but outside, the psychology has become, inside the home, we keep everything very neat. Outside the home, we don't care what happens. And we walk, tons of garbage are there. It's all there. Here it's you just come here, and if you have to come to see me, you have to walk through tons of garbage before coming to see me. That's how it is. There's some mental block we have that just we don't get it sometimes. And the other day I called the counselor because there is a drainage that is leaking on the main road. The main road is flooded It's not raining and it's still flooded. There is some drain that's just leaking. I was waiting, day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Then I called the counselor. Then I said, what happened? His name is somebody, Palaniappan, local council. He said, and I said, sir, I know I told everybody tomorrow they are coming. Tomorrow they are coming? Who's coming tomorrow? Somebody who's fixing. I didn't even understand his language, first of all. He said, tomorrow. So are you telling tomorrow they are coming to fix it? Yeah, tomorrow they're coming to fix it. Then actually, the next day, there were people working on it. They were digging it up. And then they fixed it. But the drain is still, it's full. There is an open drain, open ditch, which is full of this dirty garbage. Somebody, I told this to somebody, and that person said, just wait for 2 more days, it will start overflowing. And 2 days later, it started overflowing. Okay. Again, now they're fixing it. So we have not figured it out. We have not figured it out. Really, we have a long way to go. This Shaucham is very important. Somehow, I feel I should highlight it when I go to the public talks and all that. Look up this in Google up and see this group called the Ugly Indian. The Ugly Indian. Some of you will know it. Anybody heard of Ugly Indian? Yeah, Bangalore. They started in Bangalore. Ugly Indian. And very interesting guys. This guy comes on TED Talk. He comes and he wears a mask. He comes with a mask. He said, don't be afraid that I've come with a mask. No, no, don't be afraid. And he gives an introduction. He says, we have sent the rocket to moon and we do all kinds of advances, technology, this, that. But how come our streets are so dirty? Like that, he starts his talk. And he gives a small little pep talk and he says, I think, friends, I think we Indians are the undisputed leaders of filth in the entire world. Even poor countries maintain their streets better. Like that, he says. And then he shows a picture of all this a dirty street with the pan stains, red stains, and all kinds of things. He says, can you guess where this is? And you can't guess. He says, this is Singapore. This is Singapore. We managed to go to other countries and ruin their countries also, ruin their streets also. Like that, he gives a talk. And it's sad. It's very sad. You go to Chicago, there's a street called Devon Street. And you will know, if you're going there for the first time, you will know when you entered Devon Street. And when you start seeing pawn stains and all that, then you know it's Devon Street. Today, I hope it's different. But those days, I'm talking about longer. And so the Shaucham is something we have to pay a little extra attention on. And so it is an important value. Krishna is talking about it. Why should Krishna talk about cleanliness as though we don't know cleanliness? And I used to hear things like, cleanliness is next to godliness. Have you heard this? I've heard this. Like honesty is the best policy and all. In school, they used to have all this. It's all good. We need to learn all that. But somehow, somewhere we went wrong in implementation in the society, I mean. Anyway, that's Shaucham. Then Arjavam. Arjavam. This also we saw. Krishna thinks this to be very important value. Very important. Arjavam. So alignment. Alignment of thought, word, and action. Thought, word, and deed. Alignment. As far as possible, keep them aligned. Keep them aligned. No, I gave this word. I can't go back. Or call the person up and say, no, I'm unable to keep up this promise. I'm unable to keep up for various reasons, personal reasons, this, that. So I apologize. That's good. That's perfect. That is also Arjun, part of the Arjun. So, Swamiji's favorite complaint is this. Swami Paramarthananda ji, when he said this in class, then only I realized this is what must have happened. You can call him and meet him. He'll give you an appointment. At 3 p.m. on Sunday, you can come. Because you're in city, in Chennai. And he'll give you the time. And He says in class, there are people who will say they're coming and they don't tell you if you're unable to keep up the appointment. At least call and say it's delayed, traffic, anything can happen. Call up and say, Swamiji, I'm getting late, etc. Some people don't call, and a week, 2 weeks later, they meet Swamiji and say, Swamiji, oh, I couldn't come the other day, and I want to see you again. Swamiji mentioned not in this way, in the very blunt way that I said it. He just said it in an indirect way. This thing is just anarchism. This is total anarchism. So that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. Get big, big degrees, big accomplishment, big, big houses, cars, and all that you have. And then basics. This is the base. This is what defines a person. So I mentioned in class when I heard that I put the pieces together. This is what must have happened. And so spirituality means not doing great things, doing small things properly. That's it. Brahmacharyam. Brahmacharyam can mean two different things. Brahmachari ashrama is there where the person is focused on the study of the Vedas. Okay, that's one meaning of brahmacharya. Brahmani Vedartham Charyam Charaniyam iti brahmacharyam. Charya means to be done. One must engage in the study of Brahma. That is called brahmachari. That avastha. That avastha. That ashrama is called brahmacharya avastha. All right. Then for a grahastha, the definition of brahmacharya changes. Chastity. Chastity. And so in relationships, okay, that is called brahmacharyam. And for a sannyasi, for a vanaprastha and all, brahmacharya means celibacy. Celibacy. No more physical relationships and all. Celibacy and sannyasi, of course. So that is brahmacharyam. Ahimsa cha and ahimsa also. This also again repetition. Ahimsa. So important. Because he already covered manitvam. If he brings in new values now, then we will ask, why didn't he talk about it in the 13th chapter? No. So it looks like we're all repetition. So non-violence. So we sensitive to hurt. Sensitivity to hurt is ahimsa. Ultimate sensitivity. And ahimsa does not mean not hurting. That's why I said sometimes you have to hurt. You have to go to war. You have to take the stick sometimes. You have to give a punishment to a serial thief or whatever. You have to give a punishment. Otherwise, it won't work. So, ahimsa. But the process of giving the punishment to a person should be based on ahimsa. Right? Tarasa samadana bheda danda chatura. Jagaraja. So he's praising Rama, saying, hey, you are the person who knows exactly. You give 3 chances, 4 chances, 5 chances before you really take the next step. That's what he's saying. So, ahimsa, shariram tapa uchyate. All these constitute this kayikam tapaha, this tapas, which involves the use of all our, including body. So, mind, speech, and body. So, here ahimsa refers to physical violence because it is shariram tapaha. Okay, let's translate this. Worshipping deities, brahmanas, teachers, and wise people, comma, external cleanliness. Why external? Because shariram tapa. That's why external cleanliness. Straightforwardness, self-discipline, self-discipline. That refers to this brahmacharya. You can also say chastity. Swamiji says self-discipline. Swami Paramarthanandaji says chastity. All right. And not physically hurting. Not physically hurting. Are collectively called discipline of the physical body. Are collectively called discipline of the physical body. Okay, worshipping deities, brahmanas, teachers, and wise people, external cleanliness, straightforwardness, self-discipline or chastity, and not physically hurting are collectively called discipline of the physical body. Next. Another famous shloka is coming up. Anudvegakaram vakyam.
अनुद्वेगकरं वाक्यं
Satyam priyahitam chayat.
सत्ये प्रियहितं च यत्
Adhyayabhyasanam chaiva.
स्वाध्याया स्वाध्यायाभ्यसनं चैव
Vangmayam tapa uchyate.
वाङ्मयं तप उच्यते.
Very good. Once again. Anudvegakaram vakyam.
अनुद्वेगकरं वाक्यं
Satyam priyahitam chayat.
सत्यं प्रियहितं च यत्
Swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva.
स्वाध्यायाभ्यसनं चैव
Vangmayam tapa uchyate.
वाङ्मयं तप उच्यते.
Yeah. So Vangmayam tapaha uchyate. The following are referred to as the discipline of Vangmayam. Vangmayam means the vak. Vak is the speech. And so Vangmayam, that organ to which we attribute speech to, from which which is endowed with the speech. I'm trying to literally translate Vangmaya. Maya means prachurya, So speech means mouth, this particular area. Not even mouth, vocal cords. Just comes through the mouth. The audio just comes through the mouth. And so, speech. This vak is a very important thing in our culture. In our culture, there's a lot of value given to speech. At least traditionally, a lot of value given. Because it's easy to speaking is easy. Uttering words is easy. You don't have to spend any money and you don't have to expend any effort. Just speech just comes out. We can keep on talking. We can talk for as long as we want. Others may not be there to listen, but that's different. Speech is easy to come. Okay, and so they have figured out that there is a connection between speech and buddhi. See, buddhi is supposed to be in this list, he only talks about speech. He doesn't talk about buddhi and other things, other instruments. We have six indriya, five jnanendriyas and five karmendriyas. Okay, so shrotram, chakshuhu, all these things are there. Ears are important. Shravan. They won't talk about eyes. They'll only talk about ears. Okay, and then five organs of action, of which Hands are important, legs are also important, but he only talks about Vak. Who is the Adhisthana Devata of Buddhi?
Brahma.
Brahma is the Adhisthana Devata of Buddhi. Buddhehe Devata Brahma. Buddher Devata Brahma. And the Adhisthana Devata of Vak?
Vanni.
Saraswati.
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 Vannihi Saraswati. Okay. Saraswati. So in Rudram it comes. Okay. So Saraswati. Look at, is there a relationship between Brahma and Saraswati?
Yes.
Yeah, there is a Saraswati. There is a relationship. So they are, Saraswati is a consort of Brahma. They go together. They go together. Look at this. Buddhi and Vak go together. Can you believe that? And so both are connected. Both are connected. Both are important. See, there's the shloka that we quote to differentiate human beings from animals. What is that shloka? Ahara nidra bhaya maithunancha samanyametat pashubir narana. Correct? A. Ahara, food. Nidra, sleep. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunam, fear. Maithunam, procreation, are common to all animals, including human beings. So in this category, you can't claim any credit. Then where can I claim credit? Buddhir hi tesham adhiko visheshaha. Buddhi hi tesham. This mind, which has the capacity to ask some questions and then inquire into and know more and more and more. That is what makes the difference. But Krishna doesn't talk about buddhi. Elsewhere he may have spoken about, but here he chose to say vak tapas, because vak tapas is possible, and so that's an interesting thing. And so, Swamiji tells something in this. Here he says, when the child is born, just gave birth, came out of the womb, and then the father is supposed to pick up the baby and then give it to the mother and then chant a mantra. The mantra says, Adhyayena matre pradaya stanam prayachati. He's taking this baby, matre. Matre means to the mother. To the mother, Mande Mataram, right? So matre, to the mother. Pradaya, having offered the baby to the mother, where in what towards the breast he's giving, because the child is crying, the child immediately needs to have some food, and so towards the breast. Okay, stanam is chest, stanam. Okay, and then look, yaste stanaha shayayoho yo mayo bhuhu yo ratnadha vasuvidyaha sudatraha. Then yena vishwa pushyasi varyani saraswati tamiha dhatave kariti. This prayer is to Saraswati. Look at this. Prayer is to Saraswati, not to somebody else. And Saraswati, you are the one. May you come into the baby's mother's body. May you just come to her. And then through the milk, may you go and nourish the baby. This is the mantra. What kind of mantra is this? Huh? What kind of culture is this? And so, this is the mantra he's supposed to chant from the day one. Saraswati is invoked, is what Swamiji is telling. And so, that is the level to which we hold jnanam, Saraswati. And so life, give a long life is okay. That is all part, that's also there. And pushyati, nourish. But knowledge is what fundamentally nourishes. Okay. Like Shankaracharya's parents, they asked Aryamba and Shivaguru, Aryamba. What they asked for is, give me a child who was known for his greatness, for his. And so then he said, yeah, I'll give you, but your son will be short-lived. So mother is shocked a little. Because short-lived, who wants a short-lived child? You know, great, famous, he'll become very, very famous, but he'll die when he's 30. It looks like a curse, not a boon. It looks like a curse, but look at the boon that they got. So, it's interesting. It's interesting, and so uh, this human speech is so unique, and there is this language that comes out of it, and there's a grammar that comes along with it, and it's so refined. So many different languages are there. Some languages are not even related to each other, and grammars are all different. Like Sanskrit grammar is very, very different from English grammar. Some common concepts are there, but otherwise very different. Constructs are all different, and so much comes out of language and speech. Poetry comes, and art, literature, dance, drama, everything comes from this. There is no dance without speech. Think about it. See, it takes an effort to actually imagine a life without speech. You have to just think through. If you take speech away from the human life, how would life look like? Okay. So, very, very different life. Anyway, time's up now. But that Vak, we'll continue this discussion about Vak tapas. Okay, very important. Om Apadamapahārtāram Dātāram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Shriramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham. Om Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasyashalini Desho Yam Kshobharahitah Brahmanas Santu Nirbhayaha. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.